Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris, and I'm very happy to be here today to present you a very interesting product. It's called VeeR. And before I start, I would like to do a very quick survey here. So I'm actually wondering, how many of you guys, when you are first experiencing the virtual reality, your expression is like this? Can I see a show of hands? All right, great. So how many of you have watched a virtual reality video before? Oh my God, that's more than I expected. How many of you guys have heard of our company before? Yeah, that's less than I expected. How many of you guys have downloaded our app? Oh my God, why is more than like before? Okay, great. So it seems like our penetration rate in this market is still very low, but that means we still have a lot of upside here. So since a lot of you guys have not heard of our app before, so maybe a short video about what we do would be really good to help you understand what we offer. So let's check it out. So like you just see that we are a virtual reality video platform. But on the other hand, we understand ourselves as an experience platform because you can experience all different kinds of experience in this virtual reality world. And right now, our product has been launched on the mobile VR like platforms like the iOS and Android. So as long as you have an iPhone or an Android phone, you can just go ahead and download our app, and you can feel free to experience all kinds of experience there. And by the way, it's free. And the users love us. So we are actually one of the first officially featured VR app in the App Store. And our rating is also pretty satisfactory. A lot of people are speaking highly of us. And in addition to that, we also offer our app on the high-end VR platforms. So right now we cover HTC Vive, Oculus, Google Daydream. And by the way, Google Daydream also featured us recently. So we think that like in the future, if people want to get access to virtual reality videos, they should be get our app accessible everywhere. So right now, our user base is growing fast very quickly. So we have about 5 million users right now. And one interesting fact about the number is that actually our company is based in China, but most of users is not in China. It's all around the world. And North America is actually one of the biggest major source for our users. So this is also why I'm here today, because we think that this is a very important market for us, and we really want to know more about the user and provide more value to them. So in addition to the value provided to the viewers, we also want to provide more value to the creators. So in order to make their life easier, we have developed two products. It's called Web Publisher and Mobile Publisher. So no matter you are on the go, you are on the street, you can upload your video using the mobile publisher, or you're at home, you're with your desktop, your laptop, then you can just use the web publisher to do the job. And we provide all sorts of formats, no matter it's monoscopic, 3D top-down, or 3D side-by-side, you name it. In addition to that, we also want to create a kind of analytics for the creators to understand more about their viewers. So this is our heat map. So basically, the creators can understand where their viewers is paying most of their attention to, where they're spending most of their time on. So we think that this is also very important feedback data for them to understand their viewers better. And because all the value we created for the creators, they've been very active in the platform. So we have about 10K video contents right now, and about 2,000 creators uploading their content to our platform every day. Another interesting fact about that is about 40% of our creators is actually individuals. So they're just like you and me. As long as you have a 360 camera, you can become one of our creators, and you can just capture the important moments in your life. So these are the professional creators network we have. We right now cover the media, celebrities, brands, and virtual reality studios. And Bill Gates and Peggy Hu, they recently also upload their VR content to our platform. So this is testimonial from some of the creators. They've been referring as their go-to place when you think about distributing their content globally. And this is a very special slide for tonight because we actually been partnering with AAU in the past, and tonight we actually have a lot of works from the students who have uploaded their content here. And we specially featured them on our app today. So if you download the app, you will see that it's featured and it's accessible to all the users globally. And a lot of people would think that we are only a consumer-facing company. But on the other hand, we recently developed a new business. It's more enterprise-facing. So we can provide a kind of service to big companies that has a lot of VR content and also a lot of VR studio. They have a lot of content. So we can help them to create their own branded app. So all they need to do is just contact us, and we will be the turnkey solution for them. So they can help. We'll help them to embed their video to their website, distribute all across the platform, and also get feedbacks. So this is the team behind this product. We have about 28 members back in China, and we have 3 members here in the Valley. And the founder of the company, his name is Aiden. He is a Berkeley alum, and he is also one of the youngest Chinese venture capitalists in Silicon Valley. And the 2 other co-founders, they graduated from Stanford. They all come from top-notch organizations like Twitter, Coursera, Adobe, etc. So this is pretty much of our company. And I've left my email address here. So any of you guys, you want to know more about our product, or you think that your company has potential to collaborate with us, feel free to drop him a line. And one more thing, we are hiring. So if you guys are interested about joining the company, also feel free to ping me. So that's pretty much of it. And I wish you guys will enjoy the rest of the summit. Thank you so much.
That was incredible, Chris. And as he said, as of yesterday, we at the Academy have our own channel on VeeR. And we're so excited, Chris, because Sue Raleigh, who just traveled all over China, called China, her friends. She said, "What's the best app over there?" And she wanted to make sure we put our content on an app. And her friend said VeeR. So that's a great testimony to your company. So thank you, Chris. So up and coming next is one of our former students, who was the leading edge of VR. She was with a company called VeeR. They did a film or a VR experience called Blue, which really changed everyone's experience of VR. It was like being with a whale in the ocean. It was so beautiful, and so powerful. And she did the first web series on VR. Let's have Liz Raleigh come to the stage. Welcome back to AAU.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Great.
All right. So yes, thanks for the intro, James. I actually once upon a time performed right here on this stage 12 years ago. If that tells you my age. Don't ask. All right. So like James said, I work in the industry currently in VR. I have a studio. For 10 years, I've been in production as a commercial producer, and I started a studio a year ago. My VR experience all started at a company called VeeR. Does anybody know that name? Anyone in here? A couple of people? So VeeR is a company that was one of the first to be seeded or have VC with Samsung and HTC backing. They created a lot of content at their studio, and whenever I came in, I was hired to build their studio. We took a lot of content to a lot of festivals. As James said, we did something really cool. It's on Oculus right now. It's called Gone. It's a very first and actually one of the only still today episodic series that exist in VR. So if you want to check that out, you definitely can. Okay, so just so I have a gauge of everybody in this room, who knows the story behind smartphones? How did a smartphone start? Does anybody know? Okay, who in here had an iPod? And I'm so sorry. I just want to say I've been guest lecturing for the last couple of days, so some of the students have heard this, and I'm really sorry. But for everybody else, so who in here has had an iPod? Everyone, right? Okay. Who had a CD Walkman? Who got tired of that thing skipping? Everybody, right? So Apple did this really cool thing. They invented an iPod. And then they were like, wait, let's add the cellular data to it. Out came the smartphone. And the smartphone is actually only 10 years old. The 10-year anniversary just happened a couple of days ago. What does that mean for the industry? Everybody in this room have a smartphone? Yeah, everybody here has a smartphone. We do everything with our smartphones, right? We type emails, we get our content, everything like that all comes from our smartphone. In 10 years, that smartphone is gonna look like this. That's a contact lens, guys. It only took us 10 years to get to the smartphone as what we know of it today. And in 10 years, we have the ability to be able to put it into a contact lens. We've got different companies like Sony, Magic Leap, and other companies that are building the technology right now. So we have the glasses. If anybody knows what a HoloLens is, a couple of people. HoloLens is used for augmented reality. It's another streaming device that you can see content on. So glasses with augmented reality and contact lenses, I think the next 10 years, this is our future, guys. So consumerism. What is consumerism? Who's a consumer in here? Everybody, right? Everyone's a consumer. Everyone buys things on a regular. Okay, consumerism. So on a regular basis, show of hands, how many people have cable? Not a lot of people, because we all stream everything. We have Netflix, we've got Hulu. We want to be a premium subscriber because we want to cut out what? Ads, right? Nobody wants to watch advertisement anymore. So that means that advertisers everywhere are looking for new ways to engage with their audiences. How are they going to do that? Well, turns out between 2014 and 2016, $3.5 billion went into VR investments. $2 billion of that came from Facebook. How many who are on Facebook? Everybody, pretty much, right? We all try to avoid it at some point, but we always come back. So we have a company like Facebook backing VR. Facebook knows our data on a regular. They know what you like. They know what you like to buy, which means for advertisers, that's really great news. And with Facebook around, that means that they can actually get advertisers to make money. When it comes to VR and AR, there really are endless ways to reach consumers. Purchasing a new home, interacting with a doctor, watching football games, experiencing live experience, like anything live, and even architecture and engineering. There's so many different ways that VR can be across everyday lives. So how do we reach audiences right now? So all the 100 people in here who have a cardboard, hold it up. Right, so Google Cardboards are one of the first ways that people have learned all about VR. So 2 million Google Cardboards today have been distributed, which is a mobile-based app. Oculus, HTC Vive, Samsung Gear, Microsoft Lens, Google Dream, YouTube 360, Facebook, and Vimeo. If anybody likes Vimeo and you hear it, it's amazing. It just launched a couple of days ago, has 360 content on it. Check it out. All of these are mostly what? Mobile-based, right? So everybody in here has a mobile phone, which means that you can actually look at 360 content right now. So there's 9 user cases that VR and AR will drive in the marketplace by 2025. As you can see right now, the numbers are video games at $11.6 billion, but that number is something that is able to change at any moment. Live events, video entertainment, healthcare, real estate, retail, engineering, military, all are going to be investing in VR by the billions. These are just some of the examples that VR is already working right now. You have a video game, a live experience event, and Gone, the series that I was a part of. Medical is going to be really big for AR VR. Right now, medical is already investing millions of dollars of how VR technology can help. Think about has anybody in here had a surgery before? Or know someone who's had a surgery? Right? Someone at one time in our lives has had to have a surgical procedure happen. So now you can actually use VR and AR for that surgical procedure. Either if you're a doctor, you can use the VR, or if you're a patient and you're going to have a surgery happen, you can actually know what that surgery is going to look like. You can meet your doctor, you can go into your operating room, and you can go into the entire experience knowing exactly what's going to happen to you. And for real estate is huge. If you're in real estate and you're looking to purchase a home or you're a real estate agent, guess what? Now you don't have to go to all 100 properties. You're going to just sit in your home and look at whatever property you want. And for engineering and architecture, this is the same thing. You can go and show your clients right now in VR exactly what that project is going to look like. Lowe's is a prime example. They have hollow rooms set up right now in 6 different locations. Retail, how many people shop online? A lot of people shop online, right? So retail is one of the things that VR, again, is something that can actually take over from having an actual building. You can do all your shopping online. You can buy your clothing, try it on, put it in the cart. Same thing with education. Education is something that is really important to me for being a part of VR. And I think that the capabilities of the application is something that is really impactful. For people who have come from countries like third world countries or inner cities, kids have the lack of education. They can't get the education that they need. VR actually has the ability to give a kid who's at their home an education, making it a global education everywhere. Every child should have the ability to get an education, and VR is a great application for that to happen with. Cars, as I said, engineering. Volvo and Mercedes are 2 car companies right now that are using VR to design their vehicles. And the military is already spending millions of dollars on simulating experiences for their military personnel before they go into real life situations. So, what does this all have in common? Anybody? They all need content to be made for them. Every single one of those platforms, no matter what it is, there's content that needs to be made for them, and you guys can all be a part of that industry, no matter what it is. Retail, to military, to whatever it is, education. VR is an application that can be that. So the chicken or egg, everybody knows this? What came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Yep, okay. Well, we use this scenario for VR because there's something that we come across all the time. Creating content versus installed user base. So what does that mean? So basically, we've got content app developers that are cautious to make investments in AR, VR without an installed user base. Consumers and enterprises are also hesitant to buy AR, VR without a strong supply of content. Video game publishers, filmmakers, content creators are all hesitant to develop VR without actually having a user base. And a user doesn't want to buy the content because why? There's no content to purchase, right? But that all can change because if you guys get into this industry, you can keep it going. Monetizing right now. So the way that we actually monetize in VR, there's a couple different ways. Sponsorships with media companies or hardware companies. Who in here knows what an Oculus is? A couple of people. Who knows what a Vive is? Great. Samsung Gear? Okay, so those are all hardware companies that are partnering up with studios like mine all the time developing content. Those kind of companies are making budgets with $50,000 to $900,000 depending on the actor and the creative. So there are ways to make money right now, but it's mostly coming from the partnerships with media companies and hardware companies. 6 publications that have become cross-content subscription-based. What's a publication? Does anybody know? It's kind of up here. It's a hint. Newspaper. Who knows what a newspaper is? Anyone? I used to have one of those when I was a kid. It used to come on my door. So newspapers are a thing that are of the past, right? But publications have done something really smart. They've reinvented the wheel. Over and over again, they have become relevant today, right? So with today's technology, a lot of these publications could have failed, but they didn't. And the one thing about these publications is that they already have a user base and subscribers, which means that they have consumers ready right now to engage into all of this activity. These are some of the examples right now the publications have done. The Guardian, there's USA Today, the New York Times, The Economist, and Financial Times are all publications that have done things with other studios and partnerships to create VR content that you can actually find right now on any platform. So media and entertainment business models. There's 3 business models that we in business and advertisement use on the regular to reach consumers. So you have premium, ad-based, and downloadable. So premium, we've already talked about this. Everybody who's a subscriber to like Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, that means that you're getting premium content because you don't want those ads. Then you have ad-based, ad-driven. So ad-based, ad-driven means what? It means that you're watching an ad before you watch your content, which is fine. Usually people don't care because you get it for free, right? And then you have downloadable additional content. In VR, this model is very, very similar. It's a very similar structure. You have your premium subscriptions, you have your ad-based, and you have your in-app purchase. So what's the first thing that you see whenever you get on YouTube to watch something? What pops up? Ads, right? Right. So banner ads. No more banner ads in VR. Who's excited about that, right? Because you can't get into 360 and have a banner come across, right? You're playing a video game or there's a banner ad. It just doesn't work. So no more banner ads. You got to be very creative about this. So you have to add physics into a different experience to show 360 environment. And when the content is engaging, that means that you get a 75 to 80% view-through rate. What does that mean? 75 to 80% view-through rate. Anyone? Exactly. That means that 75 to 80% people are watching this experience all the way through because they're engaged. And for people who are advertisers, that is the greatest news that they could have because that means that that's a successful campaign. And there's 3 ways that you can execute this. Pre-roll, mid-roll, and rewarded with something additional, in-app purchase. So consumers have mobile devices right now. In the world, there's 2.1 billion people who have a smartphone. So we all know that we all have smartphones. So do all the other 2.1 billion people. That means that we can get on Verse, Little Star, Transport, Hulu, Jaunt, and Steam VR and watch 360 content right now. Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo, as I said earlier, all have 360 plugins that allow anyone to upload or view content instantly from mobile, desktop, and iPads. So advertisers can reach consumers right now by creating 360 content. Is anybody, who in here is an art student? Right? There's a lot of art kids here. Prior art student right here. Okay, so VR reaches all fields from fashion, game design, acting, and advertising, and more. Is anybody in here into sculpting? Sculptor. Okay. Imagine taking a sculpture, tilt brush, which RedBull is going to speak about later. Imagine being in a place where you can draw in 360, walk around it, and then print it in 3D. That is what VR can do. VR can change the field for anyone. No matter if you're in fashion and you're designing, if you're game design, you're acting, you can act in VR just as much as you can sculpt in VR. There is not one thing that VR cannot do that doesn't apply to you. Monetizing in the VR is like the wild, wild west. For me, I've been in this industry for a few years now. I'm one of the pioneers, I can say. And every day, we're creating the rules. And you guys can be a part of changing that and creating the rules with us. Soon, VR will definitely be a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you can be a part of it. So I hope you guys really take part in the VR program that is here. I got to see some of the students work. If you haven't checked it out, it's in one studio over. It's really cool. These kids really got it going on. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Liz. Time to monetize VR. To hear about the sound, last VR Summit we talked about Diasonics and how sound plays just an incredible role in VR because it's 360, so the sound can come from you from all directions. And one of the companies that's really pushing the envelope of that is SubPac. And here to tell us about SubPac is Kevin Kuntz, who works with them closely, and he's even used the SubPac. So here we go with a SubPac demo. And who's with you, Kevin? Wearing a SubPac.
Wearing a SubPac. Hey there. My name is Kevin. I have a VR film production company based in the Bay Area. I'm also a daily 360 filmmaker. I post to YouTube and VeeR, Vimeo as well. And I also teach advanced virtual reality filmmaking with James. So who in here didn't get a Google Cardboard? A VeeR cardboard. So sorry. Raise your hands up. You there. I will have one more at the end of this talk if you're paying attention. So yeah, you can see me there with some gear. And yeah, let me jump into my talk. So I first got into the world of VR actually through AR. And my experience with that was filming will.i.am up there, of the Black Eyed Peas. And he had on this Meta 2, which at that point hadn't been released yet. And using my camera there, I was actually able to see the holograms that he was moving around with real time. So he would just pick up that skeleton, move it, and I was recording that. At this point in time, I had like 3 or 4 guys with wires all tethered to the camera, then going into a computer, then going back into the monitor. Nowadays, it's completely different. It's much easier. But this taught me about the need for tactile in the VR space. So tonight, and of course now, this is all done by like Snapchat, right? Anyone can create a hologram that can walk around, but they can't exactly pick it up yet. So when I think about tactile immersion, I'm not thinking about this. I'm not thinking about somebody, in a headset with a spider VR thing going on, somebody putting it over their hand. Nor am I really thinking of this. Oh, how did I do that? Oh my goodness. I'm not thinking of this either. I'm thinking of something where it's a little bit more wireless. You're not directly stuck to a given area. So I came across, and neither is this the key either. That's not the type of tactile that I'm talking about. I'm talking about more of a full immersion experience. This is kind of the closest thing that I've come to in a long time of it, and that's actually a treadmill. You can see my friend Malaya from VR Scout doing a little jig on. And you can't even see what she's tethered to there, but she actually has this thing strapped in like a backpack that's then tethered up to the top of that treadmill. So wherever she runs, she's still in place. So that was pretty fun to check out. But then I came across this, the SubPac. So I don't work for SubPac. All the info I'm giving you tonight is completely unbiased. Sadly, they weren't able to make it here, but I do have my friend Pfeiffer here who has a SubPac. And she actually first introduced me to this technology when she shot a piece all about the underground Cuban dance scene. Can you do a little 180 for everyone? So that is what the SubPac looks like. And what I kind of equate it out to is it's sort of like the Rumble Pack. You guys remember what the Rumble Pack is? How many of you had an N64 back in the day? Yeah? So the Rumble Pack was a little contraption that you just, an attachment, if you will, that you just plugged into the controller, and all of a sudden you got the rumble feedback of what's going on. So this is incredibly powerful for music and all sorts of things. And Pfeiffer sort of convinced me into shooting a piece on it all about fire dancers. It's an incredible piece. These fire dancers just, eating fire right in front of you. And we decided to put it to this excellent bass song that just sends all these vibrations through you while you're watching it. So if you see Pfeiffer walking around, You can demo that display tonight, and you'll have this haptic feedback happen. It's pretty cool. And we'll be here. Thank you so much for bringing it. Pfeiffer also, by the way, her piece is going to be showing at Cannes. She also might be able to show you that one too, the Cuban underground dance music piece. So anyway, back to SubPac. Here are some things they gave me from their deck. So some of the places where SubPac has done presentations includes VR LA. They did this cool little rave experience. They've done work with the Suicide Squad, putting on a whole interactive experience with that, with the vibrations in the backpack. You can see it's actually tethered there to a chair, so people wouldn't have to keep putting it on and off. It was sort of a lot quicker of an experience for them. They did a piece with Jurassic World. That must have been pretty intense. And then finally, they did this thing with people wearing plants on their face. I don't really get that one. But. So their motto, though, is feeling is believing. And that's something I can really get behind. Because for me, I think it's about 4D. Now we're in this new space. There's so many people doing 360 in VR. To differentiate, you really need to add this extra immersion that is tactile. And I kind of learned about this through an experience I did filming puppies at a dog adoption center. And I bet you're wondering, tactile, how are puppies going to be tactile? So it really taught me a lot doing this piece. It taught me, A, about the perspective. You don't want to film dogs from up in the human perspective. You want to get down on their level. When we presented this piece, and you can see there, we actually put the camera on the dog's back to really get in their perspective. You can see. When we presented this piece, which we showed at the downtown San Francisco Mall, we actually brought a dog adoption center out there. So there were real puppies running around, going crazy, and then we had the VR headsets. What do you think people were more attracted to? The real life puppies. So it sort of taught me that in the end, you know, it really is, sometimes you can't beat the real thing. But ultimately, I feel like tactile is where this is going, and I highly suggest you guys find Pfeiffer and me and try out the SubPac tonight, and then you'll see what it's really like. So you can find me on YouTube. We're also live streaming, so if you see me later, I might have this. You might be on camera live. Just be aware. All right, who wanted that last, who else didn't get one? You didn't get one? There you go, sir. Oh, nice catch. All right, here you go. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you, Kevin. So next, I guess the only reason you guys came was for the free camera, right? Isn't that the whole reason you came in the door? Anyway, who cares about VR? Let's get the free camera. So we have, I think, the Instamatic 360 is the now happening camera worldwide. It's so exciting. We've been using it in class. That's the great thing about our classes. We have a chance to try out all the cameras. You get to use the #1 software, and you don't have to know anything. You don't have to be a techie. We have people from web design, from every department, industrial design, all learning how to use VR in a really friendly, usable environment. But let's hear it for Instant 360, the Senior Marketing Manager of the world. His name is Gene Chow. Gene, come on out here. Tell us about your newest camera. It's outrageous. Here you go.
Thank you, James. A quick one, as everyone ask a question first. How many guys don't have Nano? Yeah, unfortunately, I cannot throw away this Nano, right? This is for raffle prize. So I will leave here, and after my presentation, we will give this raffle prize out to you guys. And yeah. First of all, please bear me my English. I live in China for all my time for the past 30 years, right? I just arrived here for about 1 year, moving with my family to Orange County, Iran. And I just joined the company for about 3 months. So this is I was first employee of the company. And yeah, I was setting up the office here in the US, in San Jose and Los Angeles, because we found a lot of producers and filmmakers there. But we also very appreciate here all the tech, medias, our content partners as well here in the San Jose. So we will set up those offices. And before this job, actually, I was a research analyst working as for Forrester Research. It's a US research company. And I don't want to read all this kind of stuff. I just want to share one thing with you guys is why we want to do these cameras, right? Our founder, JK, his Chinese name is Jinkang Liu. So why he wants to found this company? Because about 2 years ago, when he found that there would be a great opportunity to do a live streaming, especially for 360 live streaming, and the team want to do this thing. But when they find all these kind of cameras, they didn't find a very satisfied hardware which can satisfy and can meet their requests. So they decided, let's stop this idea and we just do the camera. So that's the reason why we do this this company now. And sorry, I'm moving too fast. So this is actually our 3 products currently now. The first one on the left and middle is we call Insta 360 Nano, which we will give away today. And this is one of our first very successful products and which help us to build up the industry reputation. And the Nano is actually a 3K resolution, similar as the Air, which we put inside, which we just launched last month. And the 3K resolution will perfect for our consumers to use, which can easily to share on social networks, whatever, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, everything you installed on your phone, then you can share. And we also launched this Air for Android version, so which is adapter. We have 2 versions. One is for micro USB, the other is for Type-C. And on the right side, this is our key priority today. This is, we call them Insta360 Pro. So this is actually 6 lenses, 8K real-time stitching camera, so which can perfectly fit our live streaming if you use this camera. And Insta360 Nano, I just want to share one very great view. We put on the train Eagle. So actually we have the battery and we can have external SD card and we insert into Nano, so which you can use as a standalone device. And one of the key features I want to highlight besides these things you guys can read. And we are just, our latest version, we just launched the stabilization. We use the iPhone's what's that name? Gyroscope. Thank you, Eli. Gyroscope. Sorry. 陀螺仪. We get it. That new technology now to help us to do amazing. It's just like a handheld gimbal system. So you guys definitely can test when you guys after this my presentation. We will have the product there. You guys can try. And I don't want to say this is an Android version of Nano. I just want to say this is the cousin of the BBA, right? So all the functions same. The 3K, all this resolution just for the Android phones, right? And the other, which Nano cannot do, but Air can do, is that we have inbox cable that can use this camera as do a live conferencing system, 360 live conference system. We will launch this very shortly, but we already have the beta version tested. And this is our Pro. As I said, we have this 8K resolution, and we can do real-time stitching, and we can do the optical flow stitching for the stills, so for the images. So if you want to take a very good 8K images, this is really good for you guys to try. And we have 6 fish eyes. With each of them have 200 degrees on the up down side, and have 150 on the left right side. So we no need to have one more camera here on the top. So we have 6 lenses surrounded, and we can cover all 360. Together with the stereo, we can shoot 3Ds as well. And this is our real-time stitching software. Our stitching software. So also which we included on board into the camera. So we offer this software for free together with this device, this camera, and we actually use our this is our most advantage capabilities to do the software stitching. This is why we can make these products small, and we can do or buy this on board with the real-time stitching. And also for the images, we can do the optical flow based stitching as well. And we also offer the high-speed mode, which can shoot like 100 frames per second, which can do a very great slow-mo. I don't have the video here. We definitely want to show you guys in the classes, so you can check with Eli when after this event. We have the booth table there. And thanks Eli for this great wording. Created to create. So why we say this? Because we found that when we talking to a lot of VR producers, photographers, one of the couple of the key challenges they have is that they need to manage multiple devices, multiple cameras, multiple SD cards, and they need to buy the stitching software, and they need a lot of production work. So this is something we want to avoid. So we actually provide a very user-friendly interface. You can control this Pro, use the control panel, and also you can use our live program just with one interface with exposure. You can use auto, or you can use it manually to change the exposure value. You can change the shutter time, you can white balance, all these things in our live program. And you also can do the preview when you do shooting. So this is another advantage when we introduce to the content producers. So for the image specifics, I just want to highlight here. So we can do 360 photos, it's 8K maximum, and we can do 360 panel videos. We can do like 8K for the post-production stitching, and we can do 4K if we want to do the real-time stitching. And also we can do the stereo for 3D photos as well. We can do the 8K for the real-time stitching and optical stitching as well for 8K. And for 3D videos as well, we can do maximum 6K 3D videos currently. And this is actually, we work with our partners, Reading Image. By the way, this is my last slides. So we work with our partners, Reading Image, when they use this for the Obama farewell. And I want to put here, and I also want to introduce the most important feature of this product, is that we price this at $3,500. Not 1,000, 100, 3,500. Yeah, just make sure. So in China, we have a popular word. The important thing we need to speak third times, right? So I want to highlight today is that this camera will be the most practical, most accessible for you guys to start VR production. I don't want to repeat, but I make sure you guys already get it. So I think that's all my share today.
So, how many here have dealt with technology? Everybody knows that anything that can go wrong goes wrong. I'm trying to get my iPhone to accept my Apple ID, and it's been going on for 2 hours. So we just had some little glitch tonight. The tilt brush can't connect to the Wi-Fi here. Something new here at the university, right? You never have any trouble with the Wi-Fi here, right? But the competition is still on. It's national. I mean, people from all over the country are participating, but we most of all want our students here at the Academy to take part in this, and they're going to set the tilt brush up next week. One of our Academy students, he's an MPT student, like I said, MPT, Jana Memel, has been incredibly supportive of this VR program. She's actually putting together a writing program that's going to knock it out of the ballpark with one of the top writers in the world in interactive. And we have our student, his name is Colby Turnquist. He's going to talk us about what the tilt brush can do, and I'm so sorry that the Wi-Fi is not working, Colby.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Colby, student brand manager for RedBull here at the school. Really sorry we couldn't get the tilt brush here set up for right now. But first of all, I just wanted to do a quick little what my job is here at the school, and it is basically to integrate RedBull with the school in community outreach ways where we can do activations like this and the competition that we have going on right now. Also, I wanted to mention that we brought so much Red Bull to this event. So there's like 3 full barrels, so take home to your family, stock up. Literally, we have so much, we brought way too much. So the competition that we're doing right now is Red Bull Doodle Art. It is a pen and pencil drawing competition. We have had the most submissions, I think I can say. We have had the most submissions on the West Coast at our school. So that's really exciting. And I think, you know, it seems like it's going really well so far. So I wanted to first hit on, let's see here. Oh, I have it. So here it is. What is Red Bull Doodle Art? It's a worldwide competition, so this is all over the globe. Illustration students, fine art students have submitted at our school. It's been going really awesome. And next week, we have a global gallery that we'll be doing of all the best work that we have, and all the submissions that we have will be there next week. Oops. So yes, here we go. 40 countries, 700 universities. We're hoping with those schools that we've connected with, up to 21 million students will have impressions with what we've been doing so far, and even up to 50,000 plus applications. We've teamed up with Google Tilt Brush to bring all the doodles that we do to life. So the best ones that we choose through influencers in San Francisco will choose the best drawings that we have submitted. Those ones will be able to have the opportunity to change their doodles into virtual reality. So we're in our 3rd week already. So it's April 20th today. We opened on April 1st, and we've already had hundreds of submissions at the school. And then on Sunday, April 23rd, applications close, and then we go into a voting period. And the voters will be students who attend our gallery next weekend, and that is at the Cannery Gallery in the Marina. So that's what that would be. We have 3 more days. We have a bunch of submission forms still outside, so all of that stuff will be there. Also, next week at the gallery, we will have these 2 things. These moleskin ruled journals. These are awesome. Ooh. And then also, these pen packs will be there. So all of you illustration students, these are awesome little things that you can take home. So the voting ends on April 28th, and then on May 1st, the winner of the West Coast, since the United States is so big, we've split it up into 3 regions. So there will be 3 winners from the United States, 1 from the West Coast, and since we have the most submissions at Academy, there's a very good chance with all of the talent that we have here that the winner on the West Coast will be from the Academy. So we have still 2 places to submit. We have boxes at the Fine Art Building, the 4th floor at 180. We have another one at the Illustration Building, one here tonight once you take one home, and then, is there any more? I don't think there's any more. Also, you can upload your own online if you'd like to take the application home with you from here. You can take those home and you can submit them online. If you have a way to scan them in, you can do it yourself. And then after we do our gallery next week at the Cannery, we will choose 1 winner, and then, let's see, 10 submissions per unit. So 10 people will be chosen next week, and then of the 30, 1 will win in the United States, and then, or 3 will win in the United States. And then there will be a global gallery. Let's see. All country winners will fly to 1 location in the world where they will be coached on how to up the level of their 3D artistic skills and create their final piece with the Google Tilt Brush in virtual reality. And then the final masterpieces will be exhibited at a global experiment gallery where art lovers can fully experience doodles from around the world. From there, we will have 1 global winner, and after we do that global gallery, we'll bring that back here this summer, June or July, and we can show all of the work that we had submitted from all over the place. Thanks so much, guys. On the way out, you can grab those submission forms. So yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Colby from MPT. So that's tonight. You've had a chance to experience VR in all its different dimensions, but now you have a chance to put the headset on or watch it on a iPhone or see it on their iPad. Our students are from our introductory class and our advanced class from all schools. Here's a chance to see the work that's going to recreate media as we know it today. Thank you for coming. Our classes for the introductory class start this summer, and they'll be in the fall. So sign up and get into the VR content world. Thank you for coming. Thank you, people at home.